All right, so something I constantly see are these overcomplicated email marketing tips and tricks videos that have no basic foundation and it's just a bunch of fluff. That's exactly what this video is not going to do. It's going to be the email marketing basics, going over email lists, exactly what the difference between list and segment is, difference between campaigns and flows, email deliverability at basics, and how to actually grow your email list. So this is everything that you need in one short video, and I'm going to try keep it under 10 minutes. So let's jump straight into it. The first thing that you need to know is the difference between campaigns and flows. There's a very basic, easy differentiating factor. Campaigns are a one-time email sent to a specific list, often for a particular occasion like a holiday or promotion. So this is basically what you're going to try and send out 1 to 2 times per week. You can go onto any brand, sign up to their email list, and you'll see this is what their weekly emails look like. It's just a product promotion, it is some kind of story campaign, whatever it is. And a lot of times that is what your sales will be. It'll just be a weekly campaign that you send out, you have to manually build out, and you send it out. Now, a flow, on the other hand, is an automated sequence of emails triggered by a specific action or behavior. So, for example, if someone signs up to the newsletter, they get maybe 5 automated emails that you've pre-built and you don't have to constantly send those out. So someone joins the email newsletter and they immediately get a welcome email saying, hey, welcome to the brand. You've probably seen those all around. Then 2 days later, there will be an automated email that goes out afterwards saying, hey, you still haven't used your discount code, wanted to reach out and talk a little bit more about our story. So those are things that you can set up automatically, as you can see over here. This is what it would look like. This is the skeleton or the structure of what an automation looks like. So the person performs an action in this first block. Then because of that action, they get that email. Then there's a time delay. And if they have performed another action or they haven't performed an action, they will get a consequent follow-up email. So this is what you need to set up, at least the welcome, the browse, the cart, the checkout, and the win back. But I'll go into more detail about that. Now, that is essentially campaigns and segments. That's it. Or campaigns and flows. Now you have your lists and your segments. So a list is basically a static collection of subscribers, meaning that once someone is added to the list, they remain there unless they are manually removed or unsubscribed. So this is like your Shopify email subscriber list or your newsletter list. These people are people that have subscribed or you've gotten that list by some means, and that is just a static collection of people. Now, a segment, on the other hand, is a little bit more dynamic. It's a grouping of contacts based on a set of criteria, so like their behavior or their demographic or their engagement to previous emails. So these will automatically update as contacts meet or no longer meet a requirement. So for example, over here you can see you have your overall list and then you can break it down into further segments. So you can target specific people in this, because within your newsletter list, there are people that have made a purchase. There's people that haven't made a purchase. So you kind of want to separate them based on their behavior. You have people that open your emails and you have people that just don't use email. So that's what you want to break down. And segments does exactly that. So you can create a segment based on, for example, people that have placed an order at least once. So you're targeting your purchases. And then you can create a further example of people that have constantly engaged with you. That is the difference between a list and a segment. And I'll get into why that's so important later. But now here are the flows that you want to build. So going back to the flows, these are the flows that you want to build. And these are the 5 main ones that you should have in place. You don't have to worry about the complicated ones for now. I have other videos on that. But for now, all you need to know is the welcome flow, the cart abandonment, the checkout abandonment, the browse abandonment, and the win back. Now let me walk you through each. In simple terms, the welcome flow is essentially a nurturing sequence of emails that you want to send out when someone subscribes, because you want to talk about your products, you want to educate them and lead them into a purchase. That's the intention of all of these, is getting people to actually make a purchase. So that's the welcome flow. Someone comes to the website, they subscribe, and then they get an email, and that will then nurture them into placing an order. Now, the cart abandonment flow is different to the checkout abandonment flow. Here's the difference. When someone goes to the website, you've probably done it before, you'll add something into your cart, almost as like a wish list. And then you'll see the overall charge or the overall amount that you're going to have to pay for those items. And you leave because you get scared off for some reason. Now, no one forgets to check out. What happens is something happened in that process that was too complicated for them. So they abandon the cart. Now you can retarget these people. Instead of just letting them abandon it, you can send them retargeting emails saying, hey, you left this behind. We've kept it for you. Here are our shipping times. Here is a discount code so you can get this at a discounted rate to encourage them to actually make that purchase. Then you have the checkout abandonment. The checkout abandonment difference is that people have added to their cart, but they actually went to the final page to put in their cart information, and something there put them off. Whether that was shipping times, whether there was tax involved, whether the delivery times were too long, or whether there was shipping costs that they didn't expect. That is the checkout flow, and that's the reason they'll leave. So you obviously want to talk about that in your sequences. Then you have the browse abandonment. This is someone who just came to the website. Maybe they found you on an ad. Maybe they found you on Google. Came to the website. Maybe it was too complicated. They had a look around, but they'd never made that purchase. Or they never made the additional step to add to their cart. You want to target these people and you want to educate them on your products and who you are. Then lastly, you have your win back. Now, these are people that have actually made an order before, but they haven't come back to place an order in a long time. So usually about 75 days. They haven't made a repeat order, and it depends on your product, but you want to retarget these people because they're as hot of a lead as you possibly get. These people took the step to actually purchase into the brand, but they haven't come back to repeat purchase. Now comes the question of, did they think the pricing was worth it? Was the product good enough? Is it replenishable enough? Think about those things and build that into the flow. That's it. There's nothing complicated. Now comes the importance of email deliverability. To pretty much put it as simply as possible, email deliverability is the measure of how well your emails will reach their intended inboxes, right? So rather than landing in spam or junk, it determines the likelihood of your campaign actually reaching the inbox and being read by your customers. And the way that this is pretty much decided is, think about your credit score. When a bank sees that you have a good credit score, they're obviously going to kind of show you to more, you're going to be able to access more loans, you're going to access a lot more, you get a better debt control. If you have a bad experience where you haven't paid your debts, you haven't set up the right things, you haven't, gotten all these things in place, and you have a bad inbox, a bad credit score, then you're obviously going to have less access to those things. You're not going to have as much availability. That is exactly how email sending works. Okay. So it kind of is between these. You'll either land in spam, you'll either land in inbox, or you'll land in promotions. And in that, you'll be marked as spam, or people will open, or they just won't deliver. Now, this is what actually affects your deliverability and how you can think about it. So your sender reputation. All this means is, how do your customers see you? Is it that they have marked you as spam because you're targeting a lot of unqualified leads? Is it that you are sending out great content? So email content matters a lot. Are you sending out spammy content, or is it actually readable to where they want to open it, they want to engage with it, so they're going to share it with more people? And then your subscriber engagement. So are these people actually engaging? Are they clicking through? Are they opening your emails? And that's why it's very dangerous to have cold emails in your list and to be sending out to lists that you bought. These people need to ideally be aware of your brand or your product. And then lastly is the list health. Again, if you have a lot of people that you've bought lists from, and those people are just sitting in a list and you're sending them emails, but they're not opening, Google's going to see, no one's engaging with this, we're going to show it to less people. So that's essentially that. And here is how to actually grow an email list, because you should definitely not be buying any lists, and you should not be targeting anyone that's not engaging with you. So here's how to actually effectively grow an email list in the simplest way. First of all, you want to focus on offering value and making it easy for people to sign up. Consider using lead magnets, pop-up forms, and social media to promote your sign-up options. So in simple terms, you're going to obviously promote your website somewhere. So your products in your website are going to be spoken about somewhere, whether you're using social media, whether you're using ads, or whether you're using influencers. Either way, you need to drive traffic. Once the traffic is driven, it goes to your website. On your website, you're going to actually put a lead magnet, which is essentially a fancy way of saying a pop-up form to get their email, or some kind of offer like 20% off. And that is exactly what this is. So you're going to have a pop-up that simply says, hey, get 20% off your first order. Or you can offer value. You can say, hey, download our free weight loss management if you're a supplement, or download the 10 easiest meals to make at home if you offer recipes or something like that. Whatever it is, it needs to be relevant, and that is literally all you need to have. So to grow your list size, you need traffic. Then once the traffic comes to your website, you need to capture them with a lead magnet by offering value, a discount, or whatever the case is. And that's all you need to know about email marketing. It is as simple as that. There's no need to complicate it. And if it is complicated for you and you would rather someone come in as an expert to do it for you, then go ahead and book in a call with my team. We're an email marketing agency and we'll help you grow with a guarantee and performance. So go down below if that is you. Otherwise, hopefully this was helpful and hopefully this gives you a bit more understanding. So I'll see you in the next one.